Hello everybody and welcome to the transfer show with Just Football. Now there are a few stories to get on with, including the sale of Richards Bay to Marumo Gallants and also a big story that just broke in the last hour. Now if you're new on Just Football, kindly click on the subscribe button as we upload similar content every week. Now let's get on with the video. I'm gonna lead with the big story. Now the big story is that this was reported in the last hour by the unplayable. Now Ibrahim Jabbar is flying to Israel to join Israeli Premier League side Maccabi Petah Tikva. Now what is happening in this situation? We know this player was linked with a move to Mamelodi Sundowns and he was very close to joining Mamelodi Sundowns. Now the Nigerian 20-year-old, he has been one of the standout young players in the DStv Premiership for the past 2 seasons. Now he's going to be joining Maccabi Petah Tikva in the next hours. His departure is going to be announced at Stellenbosch FC. Now Stellenbosch FC looks to be selling a lot of their players. Now the deal that has been reported for Ibrahim Jabbar is that he's going to join Maccabi Petah Tikva for one year on loan with an option to make the move permanent next year. So it will depend on the player's performances. Otherwise he may return to Stellenbosch FC if those at Maccabi are not impressed with him in the coming season. Now this is a story that is coming in the last hour. Ibrahim Jabbar is not going to be joining Mamelodi Sundowns. Instead he's going to be joining Maccabi Petah Tikva in Israel. Now the next story I want to talk about is another big story. Marumo Gallants are trying to purchase the DStv Premiership status of Richards Bay behind the scenes. Now this came out a lot earlier today from the unplayable as well. Talks are ongoing as Richards Bay are demanding at least 60 million rands plus Marumo Gallants NFT status. At the moment, it does not look like the two teams are close to agreeing a deal. Now, the feeling around this deal is that it will not happen if those terms are in those terms. Now 60 million rands plus the NFT status, Marumo Gallants feel like those demands are ridiculous. So at the moment there is no agreements between the two teams, but negotiations are continuing again, still on the story of the takeover by Marumo Gallants trying to take over the status of Richards Bay. There is something else again. Now Marumo Gallants have inquired on the availability of Manqoba. Now this story is coming in from the Soccer Laduma. Marumo Gallants are hoping to take Manqoba away from Mamelodi Sundowns in case their bid to take over Richards Bay is successful. Now this is an interesting story because we know Manqoba is one of the best paid coaches in the DStv Premiership currently. He's reported to be around 700,000 rands per month. So whether or not Marumo Gallants would be able to afford those fees or those wages is an issue that we'll see in the coming few weeks. But Marumo Gallants, they are looking at Manqoba as their potential coach in case they get the status from Richards Bay. Now interesting story. Give me your thoughts on that story. Do you think it's a good idea for Richards Bay to be selling their status, and do you think this deal will happen? The demands by Richards Bay are very huge and they have been called ridiculous by Marumo Gallants. 60 million rands plus their status in the NFT. Now again I want to talk about Ngezana. Same old for Ngezana. He made another mistake. Like I always said about Ngezana, he always has a mistake in him. So this is why I never liked him while he was still at KaizerChiefs. No problem with the person, but as a player I never really felt confident while he was playing for KaizerChiefs because he always has a mistake in him. His debut yesterday, it was not an official debut, but he still made a mistake that was very costly, which led to a goal. He just slipped. So Ngezana always has a mistake in him. So give me your thoughts on that. Do you think Ngezana is going to flop out there, or do you think he's going to represent us well as a nation? Of course I want him to do well, but I'm just glad he has left KaizerChiefs at the moment. I'm glad he is no longer a KaizerChiefs player. Again, another story that came in the last few minutes. Cape Town City are close to agreeing a deal to sign Angola international striker Joaquim Cristóvão Paciencia. Now this name, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but he is one of their top goal scorers in the Angola league. Now he has been playing very well in the last few weeks, in the last few seasons. So Cape Town City are close to agreeing a deal. They want him to be their new number 9. I also want to talk about two players who are with Bafana now in COSAFA. I want to talk about Lesedi Kapinga as well as Rowan Human. Now what is happening with the two players? The two players they have been in talks. As far as Ronnie Human is concerned, his agent has been going around looking for a new club for him. He has had talks with KaizerChiefs as well as Orlando Pirates and Supersport United. Now, with that situation, currently Rowan Human, his agent is saying the player is focused on the Bafana duties, and he is not going to be talking to any other teams. So I don't understand what happened in that situation, but there was no any agreement between Supersport United and Rowan Human's agent or any of the teams that I mentioned. There is no agreement at all for Rowan Human. So the situation is simple. The player is focused on Bafana for now, but his agent is going to be moving around, but a decision will be made after the COSAFA Cup final, so or after Bafana campaign ends in the COSAFA Cup. So this is the situation currently with regards to Rowan Human. Again, the next player I want to talk about, Lesedi Kapinga. We know Lesedi Kapinga is close to agreeing a deal to join Orlando Pirates, but also there were reports yesterday that Lesedi Kapinga is only focused on Bafana duties at the COSAFA Cup. But the reports last few weeks, they were saying it is close between Lesedi Kapinga and Orlando Pirates. Talks have been there, but the problem is the agreement. There is no agreement yet on Lesedi Kapinga's side. I'm told there has to be a huge signing on fee. Lesedi Kapinga is only 20 something years old. He's not even 30 yet. So, and he's one of the most exciting players. He's going to be one of the most exciting players next season if he joins Orlando Pirates. So Lesedi Kapinga's situation, player is focused on his duties with Bafana right now in the COSAFA Cup. There are no negotiations ongoing or pending. There are negotiations that are pending, but there are no negotiations that are ongoing with Orlando Pirates. And I'm told Orlando Pirates have been the only team that have been talking to Lesedi Kapinga since he was released from Mamelodi Sundowns. We know Orlando Pirates tried to negotiate with Mamelodi Sundowns where a deal could not be agreed, and the next thing, Orlando Pirates tried to negotiate with Lesedi Kapinga, but Lesedi Kapinga at that time, he was already named as part of the Bafana COSAFA Cup squad, so there were no talks there. But Orlando Pirates understand that the talks are going to be difficult with Lesedi Kapinga. Now that he's a free agent, those terms that they had previously agreed between Lesedi Kapinga and Orlando Pirates are null and void, so they have to go back to the drawing board and renegotiate new terms. Now the player is in the position of power at the moment, so Lesedi Kapinga will be demanding huge wages and a huge fee. This may be a problem. We know Orlando Pirates, they have a structure in their wages, so Lesedi Kapinga to Orlando Pirates, there may be an issue there if Orlando Pirates are not willing to compromise, because we know Orlando Pirates do not pay crazy wages. Like I mentioned in my earlier video, Orlando Pirates do not like to pay crazy wages to players, but a player like Lesedi Kapinga, he's going to be demanding huge wages and a huge signing on fee. So whether or not Orlando Pirates will be able to agree a deal with Lesedi Kapinga, we wait to see in the coming weeks, but it is going to be difficult, which is why Orlando Pirates are back to the drawing board. Like I said in my last video about Lesedi Kapinga, Orlando Pirates are back to the drawing board because they know now the players' demands, the wage demands are going to be higher now that he is a free agent. So with Lesedi Kapinga, he's waiting to see if he can get other offers elsewhere where they can offer better wages. So we know free agents usually demand high wages, which obviously they deserve because a team does not have to pay a transfer fee for them. He's just coming free, so usually they command huge wages. We will see how Orlando Pirates will handle the situation. As I mentioned, they do not like to pay huge wages in their team. So thank you very much for watching. Give me your thoughts on the situation of Lesedi Kapinga, Rowan Human, Ibrahim Jabbar, who's going to Israel, and as well as the takeover by Marumo Gallants, trying to take over the status of Richards Bay. Thank you very much for watching, and if you're new on Just Football, kindly click on the subscribe button as we upload similar content every week.
Try to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away. Yeah, I'm about to